Why do I need a constant affirmation? Why do I always need that validation from other people? We're going to talk about why we need it and how you can get it in a way that feels much more nourishing and longer lasting, and how you can really take control of helping you feel like you are actually more worthy. My name is Jennifer Van Wyk, and I'm a psychotherapist, a humanitarian, and a best-selling author. So, as I mentioned before, affirmation is this desire to feel like we are worthy, that we have some value as a human. And it's kind of a way to prove to ourselves and to others that we deserve a seat at the table. However, as a psychotherapist, and especially in my job as a humanitarian, I really operate on this idea and this assumption that actually, as a human, just being born into the world, you have certain human rights. That's the whole basis of the humanitarian field. And human rights mean that we all have inherent worth, regardless of what gender, how we identify, what religion, what culture we're from, what social economic status we have. All of those things are irrelevant. And even if we were a jerk to everybody we knew and we sat and we did nothing, we still have inherent value. This is so much easier to say than to believe as us as people, right? We often feel like we have to prove ourselves, like we have to earn love from other people. And we are constantly searching and trying to make other people see and appreciate who we are. So I'm going to kind of start off with a metaphor. I always take metaphors a little bit too far, but this is one that I use often, and it's actually in my book. And I want you to imagine that it's been 2 weeks and you've been starving. You have not had any food for 2 weeks. So you are absolutely famished. And you hear about your friend's birthday party, and they're having a birthday party. And so you go and you're like, yes, I'm finally going to get some food. And your friend has a big, beautiful birthday cake. It looks delicious. It's got lots of icing, really colorful. She cuts it up and she hands it out to everybody, but she forgets to give you a piece of this birthday cake, and there's none left at this point. Now imagine what your reaction would be if you've been starving and your friend had this massive cake and she forgot to give you a slice, right? That, for me, in that circumstance, it would be a really big deal. It would be, you don't care about me. You have all these assumptions and thoughts, and how could you do this? And you're not a great friend. And maybe it's the last straw and you faint. Who knows? But it's a massive deal, right? Now, if you have this exact same circumstance, except you've just had a wonderful, nourishing meal, you're completely full, your friend has a birthday party, you go to this birthday party, there's a beautiful birthday cake, beautiful, colorful, massive, gives out a piece to everybody, but forgets you. Your reaction is going to be a lot different. And the only difference there is because in one case you were starving, in the other case you were completely full, right? Your friend still forgot to give you birthday cake. And if she's often forgets about you and never considers you in different things, then that's really important information for you to know, so that you can set appropriate boundaries of how much she gets to see or participate in your heart. But the thing is that when you're full and someone forgets or does something that could be hurtful, it doesn't hurt as much because you're already full, right? So as you might have guessed, affirmations are birthday cake. They do not a meal make, right? Often we are so starving that we just live off people's birthday cake. But if you're living off birthday cake, then you're not getting the nutrients, the vitamins, the minerals that you need to survive. Like, you will have vitamin K deficiency, right? And pretty soon you'll need, like, that birthday cake won't even be as delicious as maybe it would be if it was the cherry on the cake or the icing, right? Cherry on top. There we go. So affirmations, there's nothing wrong with them. Birthday cake is delicious, right? It's just not something that we should use to sustain our very existence. I don't like the word should. It's not something that it's healthy for us to sustain our existence on, right? So we really need to learn how we can feed ourselves that nutritious meal, because then that puts us in control of how healthy we are. It helps us be able to choose different meals based on different times in our life or different moods or different situations, right? If you work out, again, I'm taking metaphors too far, but if you're working out, then maybe you want a different meal than if you've been laying on the beach all day, right? So taking control of the meals that we feed ourselves not only lets us have healthier relationships with other people, because they don't have to do things for us, right? There's a lot more leverage to choose and to notice and not react, and you're not dependent on this affirmation. You can choose, maybe you don't want birthday cake this day or that day, right? It's not something that we crave and that we need, and that if we don't get it, then we're starving, right? So again, when we feed ourselves a nutritious meal, that's us really feeding our sense of self-worth. How can we make sure that ourselves know that we're worthy, or that we're important, or that we are enough, or that we are lovable, right? And that's why this heart connection visualization that I talk about very often is so, so important, because it really creates that relationship between you and one of your core selves that needs this affirmation. And when you give it to yourself, then it's more nutritious than if anybody else were to give it to you. As a child, when your parents give that to you, it's also very nutritious, but not all of us have wonderful parents that know how to feed us nutritious meals. And so even if you had a very difficult childhood, you can then, as an adult, now give yourself the meal that you always wish you had received before, and you can continue to do it day after day. Again, you cannot just eat once and then you never have to eat in your life, right? This is a constant practice. You have to continue to feed yourself nutritious meals. You have to continue to connect with your heart and listen to what it's saying and take care of it and comfort it and listen. Like I said, listen but not obey all the time. Just create that relationship so that you are feeding that deepest part of your soul. So to kind of put this into practical terms, there's many different ways that maybe are very nourishing for yourself that you can do for yourself. What I love about humanity is that we're all so different, and all of us get joy and nourishment through different things. For me, meditation, that heart connection has been so life-changing. However, also being in nature is nourishing. Getting a good night's sleep is nourishing. Eating well is literally nourishing. Working out, sailing, or being on the ocean for me is also very nourishing. So just take some time to figure out what is it that's nourishing for you. And you don't have to judge it. You don't have to make yourself feel bad that you need this nourishment, because all of us need this. This is a daily practice that we need to really incorporate into our life if we are going to be a better person. Because the other thing is, if you're starving and you're living off of people's birthday cake and they forget about you, or they don't give you the birthday cake that you needed at that time, it's going to make your relationships with others a lot more volatile. So feeding yourself, nourishing yourself, not only makes you a better, healthier, stronger person, but it also makes your relationships much more healthy, much more loving and compassionate. And it really works to make the world a better place. So let me know what you think of this video. Let me know in the comments what some things that you've realized about yourself that really nourish and feed your soul. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time.